First, we might ask ourselves, why are values important in a leadership? Because we're living in the world today where actually one doesn't ask that question. We have too many political leaders who I feel don't really have any sense of values. So to some extent, I think that it's even more important now because the world is changing so fast. The pace is amazing that at some point you have to have an anchor. And those anchor for me are the values.
If you don't have values, if you don't have ethics, if you don't have a sense of what's right and what's wrong, in a world where everything's breaking up around you, you can't possibly succeed. So leadership for me in the 21st century, fundamentally different from leadership 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, is about knowing what's right and leading in the direction based on that moral compass. But what you know about values, what you know about is right. And that's true whether you're in business or the military or government or nonprofit. A leader is a leader is a leader.
In the last century, we didn't bump up against too many people who had different values than our own. And now we do that every day. So the challenge is that quite often we use the same words. So somebody will say, well, you know, my value is integrity. Well, we may all have the same word, but the way we've composed our lives, the underlying assumptions about our religions or the core of our values is completely different. So the problem is values bumping up against each other.
And I think the values are changing over time. Just being able to deliver a profit isn't good enough in a world where we're using more resources than we need, and we're depleting the resources we need for future generations. So it's important for leaders to have the values of saving the world and protecting the world for future generations, being ethical enough to make the right decisions for the future. And we're seeing a lot more people who are conscious of those values and wanting to see them represented in the people that they elect, the people they choose to work for, the organizations they choose to work for. So values are a really important part. And my own personal experience, both as a leader and as a person who's followed other leaders, is when we have consistent values and a common sense of purpose, we are much more inspired, much more impactful, and much more productive.